Tait here and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to talk about artistic burnout, art block, motivation, procrastination, sort of all thrown into one, a bit of a mixed match of stuff. But before I get onto that, I'll talk a little bit about the drawing. So I am working on my Inktober piece. It's the only Inktober piece I have done for Inktober. I chose personally not to participate in Inktober this year because I get burnout from it. The previous 2 years I have attempted it, I have not made it all the way through. I start dreading it, and I just decided it was best for me to not participate this year. Especially because at the time, like right before October, I thought I was possibly going to have a new job and be full on busy, so things changed, but I still decided it was best for me to not do Inktober. So, this is my only Inktober piece. I did it on Express-It blending card. It was an A4 piece of paper that I cut in half, so it is A5. I used my Copic multi-liners in black, so the sizes were 1.0 and 0.1. I just said 0 and 0 in the same, like, oh well. And then later on, at the end of the video, I go in with Y38 Copic, which is nicknamed like honey, and yeah, that's pretty much what I did. I sketched out the piece in Procreate originally. I was going to include that footage, but oh well. But yeah, I sketched it in Procreate, and then I put my paper on top of my iPad and traced it. That was a nightmare, because it kept moving underneath the screen. But I got there, and I'm really happy with how this piece turned out in the end, and I hope you enjoy it too. There's something just so satisfying about watching traditional art videos, which I realized while watching over this, and I really need to do more traditional art videos. I enjoy them, and I hope you do too. Tell me if you want more traditional art, like more Copic works, more watercolors. I need a push to get me to do it more. But yeah, I did enjoy this. Also, sorry if you can hear little kids in the background. My cousins are here, and I don't have any other time to record this voiceover. Anyway, let's get on to talking about burnout. So, I was doing a little bit of research before I did this video. It was a very last minute decision to make this about burnout, but I thought it was a great time to talk about it since Inktober is a time lots of us experience burnout. Also, sorry that my head's in the video. It's only at the start. It's fine for the rest. But yeah, so this is a way of explaining burnout that I found that I really liked. So I am going to be reading this out from a website. The website's scottburken.com. I'll put a link in the description. But burnout means you've pushed your creative energy beyond the point of recovery. Like a well of water, creative energy replenishes itself slowly over time. A person who has pushed their creative well too hard for too long will, like its watery counterpart, one day find it empty. Usually by the time you notice something is seriously wrong, there's little energy left to work with. Common signs you might be burnt out include: you dread waking up, unless this is not unusual for you. You don't care about something you were passionate about. You saw the title of this essay and felt a ray of hope. Inspired, motivated, creative people annoy you. Everything seems grey and pointless. You're drinking or eating more or showing whatever your signs of depression are. You find it hard to relax. It's a struggle to do even basic work. So it sort of almost crosses over with depression a little bit. I think those lists of stuff in the article are a little bit extreme sometimes. Like that would be a very severe case of artistic burnout. For me, when I feel burnt out, it's usually from pressure of having to create all the time. And literally, if I set aside time where I say I don't have to draw, or if I just tell myself I don't have to draw every day, I am much more likely to do it. I don't know if other people feel this way, but as soon as something becomes like a chore that you have to do, it makes you not want to do it anymore. So yeah, I'm going to talk about how I deal with this personally. I don't get to that extreme as the article I'm pointing over there because my monitor's over there that it's on. But I do get, burnout. Some people will say art block. I disagree with art block. If people say art block to me, I'm just like, do studies or something. Like, a lot of people use art block as an excuse not to draw because they don't have ideas, and yeah, just, you can do studies or anatomy, just scribble even, do something, because generally once you're in the mindset that you have art block, it is really hard to get out of it as well. So yeah, that's my talk about art block. Yeah, what else? I'm saying but yeah too much. Ways that I deal, I'll say lack of motivation to begin with. If I am not feeling motivated, which I tend to try and work through motivation whether I am or not, because it's a habit, it's a good habit to not just rely on motivation to do stuff. But when I'm really, really not feeling up to working, one of the things I love to do is look at other artists' work. It just inspires me so much, and I'm like, it inspires me to practice so I can get up to their level. A lot of people though, when they look at other artists' work, they start comparing themselves to artists, and it sort of brings all these sort of self-doubt and negative sort of thoughts. So be careful with that one if you're one of those people that it turns into a negative experience rather than a positive one. But like, look at artists' old work as well. Look at their work from when they were a kid. Like, you can see that improvement can happen. A lot of us will feel that when we look at the artwork that it's not possible, that it's out of reach, but looking at their old work and seeing that it's at the same level you are at, it's just a kick of motivation and realization that you can get to where you want to be. So that is why I love looking at other artists' work. Another thing that helps motivate me lately is listening to Brooke Castillo podcasts. I was introduced to them a while ago by Katie Arrington when she sort of came back to YouTube. And I haven't listened to them for a while, but I started listening to them again recently, and I've just had this massive kick of inspiration. Well, not inspiration, but like motivation to do stuff again. Like, one I listened to recently was on the compound effect, which I am not going to be that great at explaining, but it's sort of just like that everything adds up. It may not mean much today, but if you do it consistently, it'll add up and change something. So if you want a better explanation of the compound effect, go check out Brooke Castillo's podcast, not video, and check it out. Check out all of her podcasts. I haven't listened to all of them, but they're really just interesting and open up a new outlook to the world. But like, this helped me this week particularly. Like Tuesday, I was having a lazy day. I was in my pajamas, played MapleStory all day, and then I had to stop because my shoulder was sore. So I was just laying down and listening to podcasts while trying to rest my shoulder. And it sort of just reminded me that even though it may be easier to just not do something today, but that will affect me in the future. And it pushed me to go to gym. And after doing that thing that I didn't really feel like doing, I felt good. I felt like I want to just keep going and pushing myself. It's the same when I do art. If I push myself to do something and then I end up finishing it, it feels so good. And that's another thing I try to remember when I'm sort of in a rut, that feeling of when I finish something, that really sort of positive, I'm really bad at finding words for my emotions, but that feeling of finishing a work is just, it makes me happy. So that's one thing that helps push me through motivation and burnout. One problem with burnout though as well is when you set yourself too much work. You need to find what your workload is that you can manage for a long extended amount of time. If you can't manage 5 hours a day every day, don't set yourself that much work. You need to find what works for you. Another way you can get around sort of burnout, or not get around, but try and get out of it, change up how you do stuff. Go to a different location, use different mediums. If you're a watercolor artist, use pencil or Copics or paints, acrylic paint, gouache, oil paints. There's so many different mediums. Or if you draw people, try drawing animals or buildings or landscapes or plants. There's just so much different stuff you can do, and that change can help push you out of whatever you're feeling. Like, sometimes you do just need to sit down and rest and not put any pressure on yourself to do anything, just to recover. And then, you've just got to find that balance of what works for you and stick to it. Like, routine is good, once you're in a routine, you sort of get used to stuff as well. But yeah, and if you don't have the ideas, that's the perfect time to study. If you can't think what to draw, just be like, oh, I'll copy this and do all that. But anyway, I hope this video helped a little bit. I'm not the best at explaining stuff, but I'm trying. I'm happy I'm doing more discussion videos, and I need to just spend more time researching. I can't do scripts though, or like even dot points, because I just get all messed up. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the drawing, because I really do. And I'll see you in my other videos. Be sure to like and subscribe. Bye!